Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and in this video, I want to do sort of an iOS comparison type of video. So as you can see here, we have two iPhones, and of course we have my iPad Air 4th generation. Now, I'm doing this using the iPad for iOS 18 since I'm recording off of my iPhone and I don't have another iPhone that's also running iOS 18. So the iPad OS is pretty much the same version as far as customization and the lock and home screen is concerned. Now, on the far left, we have an iPhone 7 running iOS 15.8.3. In the middle, we have an iPhone SE. Now, I will leave a disclaimer for this video. This iPhone does have problems where it does like to reboot, so it may cut off during the video, but we're going to have to work around it. And I also have my iPad Air running iPadOS 18.2.1. So I'm going to talk about all the customization from iOS 15 through iOS 16 and then iOS 18, and I will mention iOS 17 as well. So let's start off with iOS 15. With iOS 15, I'm sure you guys remember we have widgets with the introduction of iOS 14. All you have to do to add a widget is press and hold on the home screen. I'm trying to do this as best as I can here. You have an plus button, and from there, you have the ability to add widgets. As you can see, the SE did just cut off, but like I mentioned at the start of the video, we're going to have to work around that, as that does happen quite often. So you do have widgets with iOS 15. And as you see, iOS 15, you can add widgets. We gained app library with iOS 14 and a lot of other features. You also do have a nice simple lock screen. However, there is no customization options. I'm going to wait for the iPhone SE to boot up there. As you can see, the SE just boot up. Now with iOS 16, we gained the ability to customize our lock screen. So you press and hold on the lock screen here. You press and hold on your lock screen with iOS 16. And from here, you have the ability to add widgets. You can add all kinds of widgets with iOS 16. And you even can add widgets for the top time as well. You see, I'm going to add a fitness widget here. If you don't like that, you can add a weather widget, and you can also add a calendars widget. We press done. Now, as far as home screen customization, on the iPhones that don't have home buttons, you do have a spotlight search button. However, I have it on my iPhone, but I'm not going to show you it as I'm recording. But with iOS 16, you pretty much have lock screen customization, but the home screen customization remains the same with iOS 16 is concerned. Now then, with iOS 18, this is where it gets interesting. On iPhones, you have updates to the lock screen where you have the flashlight and the camera toggle. You can take those out and add different ones. You can also customize the iPhone's home screen with widgets and a top widget. However, there is more you can do. It doesn't stop there. With the home screen, let me just turn the brightness up a little bit here. With the home screen, you can drag an app anywhere you want. And the same thing applies to widgets. You can drag an app anywhere you want. So say if I'm going to add this YouTube widget here. If I want it to be here, I can have it anywhere I want. And the customization doesn't stop right there, as you also have the ability to tint your icons by pressing and holding on your wallpaper, pressing the edit button, as you see here, pressing on customize, and you do have 4 options. You have light, dark, which dims the wallpaper. Then you also have automatic, and then you also have tinted. Tinted is what gives your home screen a sort of aesthetic type of look, where it makes your icons to the best of its ability to match the color of the wallpaper. You see, I'm trying to do this one-handedly, so bear with me here. This would be a little easier if I had like a tripod, but I don't, so I gotta make the best of it. I gotta make this work the best I can here. So as you can see, you do have customization with the home screen. Now let's go into photos. You have some nice updates within photos. On iOS 15, you have some great options here. A lot of people prefer the iOS 15 look or the iOS 17 look. A lot of people didn't really like the new change to photos with iOS 18. How in the top right corner, you have your account, you have a select button, you also have a search button. However, you even have more. You have your recent days, people and pets, pin collections. You can customize and reorder and get rid of some of this stuff if you find it not as simple as you'd like it to be, to make a simple sort of experience with iOS 15 and iOS 17 and iOS 16. But iOS 18 updated the Photos app. Now then, Safari looks the same, so we're going to skip Safari. Calculator looks the same. However, the control center is different with iOS 18. iOS 15 and iOS 16, the control center is pretty much identical. However, with iOS 18, not only do you have the ability to move controls around, but you also can add new controls here as well. So if I go to the next page and I'm going to add in the Shazam control, we get this nice grabber that allows for us to resize the control. You don't get that on both iOS 15 and iOS 16. And yeah, the SE did just reboot again. But you don't get that with iOS 15 or iOS 16. That is only for iOS 18. With iOS 17, we've also gained interactive widgets. So let me show you here. I'm going to add a podcast widget. And I'm going to play a podcast from here. Welcome to 9 to 5 Mac Daily for Wednesday. Now that is something that unfortunately iOS 16 and iOS 15 don't have the ability to do. You cannot interact with your widgets. So if I go to the next page and then I go ahead and add a widget, let's say podcast. Unfortunately, you can't interact with widgets. Neither can you on both iOS 15 and iOS 16, but iOS 17 and iOS 18 does give you that ability. As far as wallpapers, let's go into settings and take a look. On the iPhone 7 running iOS 15.8.3, these are all of its wallpapers here. Here we have all of the wallpapers. We have the one for iOS 15, iOS 14, some desertscape wallpapers. We even have some sort of cartoony drawing style wallpapers. I'm not really sure if I like the blue effect when you had dark mode enabled, although I do miss these wallpapers, and I wish Apple can add them to iOS 16 and iOS 15, or iOS 18 I meant. And you also have your classic striped rainbow colored wallpapers. Now let's take a look at iOS 16, because with iOS 16, we've gotten quite a few new wallpapers. This is one of them right here, which is the default wallpaper. We have the weather, Unity, astronomy, color, and some nice new updates. And also, with iOS 18, we have new wallpapers, the dynamic one. We have some nice new wallpapers. So far, I'm not going to make this a long comparison. I just wanted to go, and there the SE just cut off again. I just wanted to go and mention the history of iOS from iOS 15, 16, and iOS 18. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.